is getting to be dinner time here, and we have some hungry mouths to feed. And so I figured that I would, well, I looked in my fridge to see what we kind of had, and I had this jar of spaghetti sauce that we had only used as a dip for something, and so there's just hardly barely any gone, but it needs to be used up. And then I got this ricotta to make a lasagna a little while ago, and I never did it, and so I needed to use this up. And then I just have some cheese in the fridge, so I thought that I would make the 3 cheese manicotti. So we need to get out a pan to boil this manicotti, and we're actually going to make an extra one to put in the freezer for later because it just makes it for a simpler meal for next time. So let me get out a pot so that we can boil the noodles. Okay, we've got our pot here boiling. Well, it's not boiling yet, but it's going to take a little bit of time to boil. So I'm going to make the mixture of the ricotta, mozzarella, parmesan, and then an egg. And I also found in the bottom of my freezer a thing of just a little bit of ground beef left and some sausage. And so we are a proteiny family, and so we pretty much try to add protein whenever we can. So we're going to add this to the mixture. If you like to use fresh Parmesan cheese at home and just use a grater, that's fine. But this microplane is so nice. It is so nice. My mom has one that doesn't have a handle, and it is very risky to use. I suggest getting one that has a handle and a cover because this is extremely sharp. But it works so nicely and gets nice, thin, grated cheese. It only really works for hard things. I haven't really tried it for soft things, but I imagine that it would just smush. Woo, that was risky. I need to use up this Parmesan cheese because it was starting to mold on me, so I had to cut it off. This is a good meal because it's getting a lot of stuff out of my fridge that I've had for a little while. Should be good for right now. Okay, so we've got 2 of our cheeses. I'm going to add this whole thing of ricotta. Okay, so this ricotta had some taken out already for a different recipe, and so I'm just going to use what we have because there's never going to be more than that. So we'll just add that in. We're going to add 2 eggs. What I love about these recipes is that, or baking or cooking like this, is that you can use what you have. If you don't have it, no worries. You can probably substitute it with something else. So I'll try and get that mixed up. Like this recipe called for just basil, but I don't have just basil. I ran out for some reason, so I grabbed Italian seasoning instead, which will be just fine. Add our cheese, mozzarella cheese. Ooh, that looks just about perfect. Ooh. Let me see if it's done. Ooh, al dente, perfect. Don't want to just pour it out because I need the water again. Just gonna put it in here. Oh, that one's not gonna make it.
By the time I got ready to put this in the dish, I had realized that my daughter wasn't feeling well, and so she was sleeping on the couch. And my son had gotten too cranky, so I just made him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So I just made an extra one for later, and we will enjoy that another time.
And I saw that I had an extra pizza sauce that needed to be used up too. It was like we used maybe half of it, so we'll add that too. It's a little thicker, but it won't hurt anyone. We will spread that out. Oh, I didn't close the fridge all the way. Since I had this ground beef and the sausage in the freezer, I just put it in the microwave for a little bit to break it up so that I could actually squeeze it through the Ziploc bag when we put it in there. So I'm gonna make the crumbles a little smaller so that it can have more filling and stuff like that and be more distributed. Then I'll add it right in here. This should make that filling go a lot further, even though I didn't have the whole container of the ricotta, or I think I might add one more egg. This kind of looks like mashed potatoes with meat in it or something, which is kind of funny. I think I am going to add probably 2 more eggs. Nice thing about cooking is that there's no true recipe. Like with baking, you kind of have to follow it or else it won't turn out. But with cooking, you can veer off the path a lot and it'll most likely turn out. I did add a little bit of garlic salt as well. Okay, that looks pretty good. We're gonna put it in a bag and then we're gonna pipe it in there. When I fill up a Ziploc bag to do this, I like to fold over the edges quite a bit so that when I go to reseal it, that the edges are not all crusted up, because that would be it just makes a bigger mess. So I like to fold it over and hold it like that, and it will usually support the weight of whatever I'm putting in it. I've found that with this much filling, it's easier to rest the bag on the counter and just take a little handful of the filling and just squeeze that out so that it's not too oops, that one has a hole. Bust that one through. Not too overpowering, not too heavy, I should say. It goes in a lot easier. And I have the chicken stock downstairs. I can smell it, and it is smelling good. Some of these had some casualties. They're stuck to the bottom of the pan. Most of them are pretty good, but some of them got a little broken in spots. But the good thing about pasta is that pasta and cheese, no matter if they're broken or not. Ooh, that one's breaking more as I'm told. No matter if they're broken or not, they still taste good together. And no one will really know, because we're gonna put some more cheese and sauce on the top. So since I have a bunch of these broken or they're like stuck together noodles. I am just going to shove them in the spots that were a little bit, that didn't get them all the way. And I'm actually gonna save some out for my kids to eat because they love noodles. But I'm gonna just shove them in the spots that don't have very many noodles. And then I ground up some more, actually I'm gonna put this one in here. I ground up some more cheese, and I'm gonna sprinkle a lot of cheese in that area so that it can be filled up a little bit more, and then put the extra sauce on top, and no one will really know that those ones weren't too filled unless I point it out. Okay, we will just top it off with this. And the rest of the cheese. This was Parmesan and mozzarella that I shred. Okay, now we'll just wrap them up, double wrap them in, I think I'll do foil first and then I'll do saran wrap. And then we have to write the instructions on the top. Okay, so we will wrap these in foil. With the holidays just, oh my, crazy kids. With the holidays just right around the corner, I'm sure that these will be eaten up really quickly because there will be plenty of nights that I don't want or don't have the time to make anything. So I'll be grateful that I did this. Just gotta write something on there. Okay, so now we have 2 meals for the freezer, or one that we could give someone if something happened or someone was having a hard day or something like that. So we will just let these cool down all the way. They're actually pretty cool right now, but we will let these cool down a little bit and then we'll put them in the freezer. And then when it comes time to bake them, you can just bake them straight from the freezer. They don't need to defrost or anything like that. You can just put them right in, but it will take about 20 to 40 minutes longer than if you were just to bake this. So you just write the instructions on top with a permanent marker or something like that so that you can remember what's inside. I also like to put an indication right here on the side as well, in case it's in the freezer sideways and I can't tell what it is, or I have to get a bunch of things off. So I like to do it on the top and on the side just for convenience. Thank you so much for watching this and joining me make the manicotti. Sometimes things don't go always as planned, like the manicotti, when it was cooking, it stuck to the bottom of the pan, and that's just fine. That's just what happens every day. And you just improvise, and it doesn't have to look pretty. It will still taste the same, and kids and your spouse will still think that you're a great cook because you fed them and you made them happy that day. So thank you so much, and if you would please subscribe and like, that really does help. So if you would like to make this manicotti, go ahead, and there's an easy recipe just right on the side of the box.
Thanks for spending time with me in my kitchen. I hope that you guys are able to make this meal. It is pretty simple and it goes by really quick.